Welcome to the podcast for StarGalaxyWars. This is our first podcast featuring Matthew from StarGalaxyWars with starring guest Tamika Andreassen. Tamika's YouTube channel is in the link below in the description, and all her other content for all other media platforms. Tamika's channel covers a range of videos and vlogs, so go check them out. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to her channel, and she's really close to 500 subscribers, so let's make that happen. The podcast today will move away from everything Star Wars and will focus on the scope of streaming and channel chat. With so much recent support at our channel recently over at Instagram, let's help Tamika strive her channel forward. With all the promotional tags are in the description below.
Hey guys, as Matthew said, my name's Tamika, and I currently create a variety of content like vlogs, challenges, and pranks for my channel. The videos you'll see me posting on my channel is just me being my normal weird self. So I hope you'll enjoy watching them and be sure to subscribe.
So Tamika, I've got a few discussion points for us to talk over today. I've got some chat discussion points. First thing we can do is we could do a channel review, both on our own channels and both on each other's channels. What I mean by that is that you can review your channel, I'll review my channel, and then we can review each other's channel.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so I'll go first. We'll give it a go. Your channel.
My channel.
We're just gonna base this. We're gonna base this on everything, or we're just gonna base this on YouTube.
I think we should base it on everything.
Okay, so let's go over to your YouTube. Let's get that searched in, Tamika and.
So currently I'm on 399 subscribers. It's taken me a long time. That's all I have to say, a long time to reach this place.
Tamika Andreassen. Okay, so your first blog was about a year ago, maybe just over a year ago. Since then, you've probably uploaded at an average, I'd probably say once a month.
Yeah.
So very consistent. I can tell you that ours isn't, and we'll happily accept that. So with yours, clearly different to ours, obviously. What I would say with yours, it's very unique and very, very bright, colourful.
Yeah, eye-catching.
Yeah, it is. Very consistent with like the thumbnails and everything. Channel kind of blown up from like, or even the first one blew up. Your first ever video had 1,300 views.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
Then it kind of plateaued down from that, and then it kind of came back up recently, so that's good. One thing that I would say that out of the views is the one video that probably seemed to get the less views, and I'm without the last 3 views, is the Black Lives Matter protest 7 months ago. Only had 196.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to get into the political debate, but with something like that, you would think hopefully it should have got more.
Yeah.
You know, with the big standpoint, you know, recently and everything. So I think with that, that's very, I'd say disappointing, but I don't think it's disappointing. I think it's like in terms of like the news and like how trending it was, you think more people would watch it.
Yeah. I think as well with my channel, because it's mainly just based on vlogs, pranks, and challenges, I do think that might have like played a reason as to why the views are a bit lower than the rest of my videos.
Yeah, so it's not like it doesn't fit the trend of the description of what you're trying to promote, really. Yeah, I get what you mean. Your Instagram, well, your Instagram's very just you.
Yeah.
No vlogs whatsoever.
Nope.
However, your TikTok, am I right in saying it's got like 33k?
Yeah. So my TikTok, originally it was based on a fan page, because I was mainly posting myself, I decided to switch it to a personal account. And yeah, so I have 33,000 followers on there, which I've tried using as a platform to promote my YouTube. So one thing I remember in particular was a person who came from my TikTok to my YouTube channel, and it's crazy how I saying this back over. She was commenting on my channel and telling me that I helped her with her self-esteem, and it's like crazy to think I don't know this person, but in some way my videos have helped her, and it's just crazy just to think that, and that's like the main reason why I continue to post videos.
Yeah, like
So
even
yeah,
like even for us, like with our channel, is like if you look on our Instagram, one of our first ever videos on our YouTube, our first video on YouTube was the detailing of the recording was very very poor. I think it only came out as like 480p, so it didn't even reach 720, which is like a minimum these days.
yeah,
Um, there was no sound, there was no audio, there was no nothing, and it was just literally recording of gameplay, and it wasn't really appealing. Um, but since then we've really become more confident. Like we talk on the streams and everything. When we're doing podcasts and stuff, so we feel a bit more confident in our channel, what we're trying to do. Like we've taken up like another level
yeah.
since last. When did you start this? I
We're
think
looking onto your
I think it
Instagram
was a year
now.
and a half ago. Oh, I should
Yeah,
know this.
your first post on Instagram is like
July
the
2019.
25th of 2019. Yeah.
Yeah. So about a year and a half ago. So we've really come into a zone.
Mm,
I would say with our channel is that when we did start it, we were consistent because it was a new thing and we had the motive. But when it after a while it just became that we weren't going anywhere, so we weren't really trying to push anything. So
yeah.
it just became a stalemate. But recently, like the last week, maybe even 2 weeks, but definitely the last week, it's really become to another level. People are liking, people are commenting, people are sharing, people are joining the stream. We're doing overlays and stuff, so we're hoping we can get those onto our streams maybe from the Sunday one on the 24th, which starts at 7:30 GMT time. So we're hoping that this, after this week, after this massive kickstart, we can push on a little bit and get to at least three figures.
Yeah. You're so close as well. And when you're reviewing your channel yourself, it's crazy to see how much you progress from where you started to where you are now. And it's like the little things that you see, how like people are actually interacting with your channel, people liking and commenting on your posts. It's like it does give you like that boost to continue posting,
Yeah, it does
which is great.
definitely. Like I do the insights on our page. So like I've seen like in the last week we've gone up like by 12,000% in terms of
Wow,
interactions. So like
that's
clearly
amazing.
clearly something's trending, or there are reasons why the interactions are going up.
Yeah,
Hashtags which we're trying to get the right hashtags and stuff. It's just trying to find what seems to be trending at the minute. So like for us, there are things within Star Wars which are trending. So there's a little bit helpful for us, so we can promote that a little bit. We're trying some other things as well, which we haven't really confirmed. So hopefully in our next podcast we could confirm that what's going to happen. But we are thinking of other ways to promote our channel, to get up to the next step.
yeah, and that's the thing about having like creating content is about finding ways to promote the content you're posting and getting it out there for people to actually see. And I think that's the main thing, the main challenge when you do upload is just trying to find that promotion, trying to do the right thing, find the right hashtags.
Yeah, it is, and what I find as well is sometimes is that's a challenge in itself, but also the other challenge
Exactly.
is the content itself, because there's so many other people within the world that do the same thing as you,
Yeah.
and they're already bigger, like they've got already so mass followers that people who know who they are, and as soon as like they post something, people are going to be jumping on that trend, and it just then falls like a bit of like a waterfall with it at the top, and then you just got to pick up the scraps and like trying to work out what haven't they done, and you got to try and work around how you can go higher and higher up the waterfall, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And with my YouTube as well, I sort of relate to that as well, because you know, you see all these YouTubers with like 10 million followers, 1 million, and sometimes when I see like I've got like 399 subscribers, it's just like sometimes I just imagine it as, imagine those 399 people in one room. That's still a lot of people if you do think about it as that way and you see it from that perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing with that is that with those 300 subscribers or however many have you got, is that how many of those people are really interested in what you post? Because it is good to try and promote your channel and stuff to get subscribers and stuff, and it is a good number to have. For example, if you've got like 10 million or 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers or whatever it is, and it's proud, it is proud to be like, I got 1 million followers or whatever. But how many of those people, of that million people, actually enjoy the content that you're posting?
Yeah.
Like if they just you follow your channel or anything just because you've got promotions, or are they actually going to watch your material, that type of thing?
Yeah, I see what you mean. And like with my channel as well, when I realized you know, when you just see how some videos have like 1.3k views, and then you'll look at your subscribers and it's like, wow, it's crazy to see that there's a certain percentage of people who are not subscribed but are still watching my videos. And it's like, even though not every single video is hitting like 1k, it's still like sometimes I'll have videos that have 700 views to like 900 views, or even like 300, even to 600.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's crazy to see that there's so many people watching but still so many people not subscribed.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, what do you have to do for people to like subconsciously think, right, no, I've watched this, now I'm going to subscribe? Because you do all the promotions, you do all the transitions, you do all the overlays and everything, you get to the best you possibly can be to make your channel from like our first video was absolutely rubbish to where we are now. It's got, it's got theme songs, it's got things like that, and we've become so much more better at what we're doing. It's just like, if you make a 20-minute video and then someone's watched it and they haven't subscribed, it can just feel like, well, what's going to actually be achieved from it? Because then the next one, if it hits the same ratio and same publicity, the odds that it's probably going to happen the same.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the channel, like what in the video has to stand out significantly for you to like get that subscriber or the follower.
Yeah, and that's actually something I've had to learn as well. With like when I'm editing my videos, is always adding the subscribe button pop-ups and the tags at the top of your video to constantly remind people like, hey, click here to subscribe. So it's like having to constantly repeat that to keep them engaged, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, if you do have like a long video and it's like 20 minutes plus or whatever, and you keep saying like, subscribe, follow this, follow that, follow this, is that some people, like, I think they just can't be bothered just to go off the big screen to just go and, like, press like and subscribe. I
Yeah.
think sometimes, like, I see many YouTubers doing things like that they, in the actual video itself, it just says subscribe here, and it automatically subscribe for you. So I think people are just, it's either that they just can't be bothered, or something's got to really stand out in the video for them to be like, I'm going to watch more of this content.
Yeah, that's the hard thing as well with creating like long videos. It's just all about keeping them engaged and obviously trying to persuade them just to click here. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes it's the most annoying thing, because all you want to do is, because like for us, this is like we don't even get paid from it yet. Like, we're far away from that. It's just a thing that we put so much time into it, that because it's a hobby, we enjoy it. Like like the people who do our channel, like we're, we're like Star Wars fans, Star Wars fanatics type of people, and we really enjoy that type of universe, and that's our sort of community. So like, this is like a really much of like a hobby for us. So maybe for you that it might be or it might not be, but like some people who really do these type of things, like these streams, the blogs, the YouTube, whatever, that they do this as a job, and sometimes that can be the most negative thing, is that sometimes, like, it's not going anywhere, and like, this is the only sort of income you kind of have.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And it's like with YouTube as well, when you said you're not getting paid, that's the same as me as well. And it's like having well, when I before I started YouTube, I had to make sure I did my research on like how to get monetized and the steps I had to take to reach that point. And at first, you see the numbers and what is expected of you to be monetized, and you think, oh, that's easy. Like everyone will watch my videos. I'll gain lots of views. When in reality, it's nothing like that. It does really take dedication and time and a lot of patience. And obviously, understanding that some videos are not going to get a certain amount of views. So that means like you're not going to get a certain amount of watch hours. But it's just all about being consistent and just finding that motivation. And sometimes even when you're seeing like, oh, my YouTube channel is not doing like the best, you do lose motivation sometimes. But it's just all about getting back into that routine, really.
Yeah, like definitely, because like for us, like I think there was an Instagram post that went up when we had like about almost 30 likes, which for us is quite good because we don't even have 100 followers yet, and we're really close to that.
Yeah, that's good.
The next post then that was posted maybe a couple of hours later didn't even pass 10, and that's the problem. Like the hashtags like direct for certain people who are following those hashtags, but it's like the consistency is there, but then you've got to show a bit of variance
Yeah,
because if you keep consistently posting the same things, it does become tedious, I think. So the consistency is good, like for example when you post, how you post, but I think the variance then shows in terms of what you post.
yeah, that makes
um
sense.
like for you, like comes to the example earlier is like your Black Lives Matter movement video was different and it was variant, but it didn't hit the same.
Mm,
I think maybe at that point, I think even for us, like because I know on Instagram we got like almost 300 posts, but essentially they're not. It's not very much. We don't have very much to go bounce off. So
yeah,
like, because we're still progressing and we're only just. Well, I say we're starting, but we've started a year and a half ago. But we're only starting to progress a little bit further now. Is that the consistency has to stay the same without the variance? And this the podcast that we're doing now is either going to work really good or it's going to fail completely. And
yeah,
I don't think there's going to be an in between. I think it's either going to be really, really good where we're going to gain out of it and it's going to become something that we're going to keep doing and keep doing and keep doing, or it's just going to completely fail and we're just going to have to go back and realize, well, what went wrong with it and how can we work better at it, and then what's different than we could do and that we haven't done yet. And I think it's just one of those things, like you see so many people with like all these big, these big Twitch streamers, YouTube streamers, whatever, is that obviously they've taken time and they've taken dedication to get where they are. It just feels like the people who are joining now are just like late to the party. It's like if you went to a party and it's like 11 o'clock and it finishes at 1 o'clock and you come at 11:30, then there's not much left for you to do
yeah,
because most of the things are done. And I think that's the problem at the minute. It's just because there's so many, like for us, there's so many fan pages and things like that, and same similar people who doing similar content at about our level. It's just hard to stand out from the rest, and you got to find a way to do that.
yeah. And it's just really all about what makes me different to them. What makes me, well, different to them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for us, what I'd say what's different is that we do have a group. So the pressure levels quite equal. So we all take turns to do things. We have a certain tasks and everything. Most for you, like it's quite individual. You might have someone
Yeah,
help you, maybe like help you with a video, like for example, hold your phone or something, whatever like that. But it's quite remote and it's quite basic in terms of it's just you and you rely upon yourself and you got to have that inner motive yourself to go and do the things you need to do to promote your channel. Like for us, if for example, like I'm busy for the week. Like I know there's other people to like carry us through that week, but like for yourself, if you don't have that motivation, then it's just gonna fall down quite rapidly. And we hit one of those points. As I said earlier, that it came to a point where we just didn't think we were going anywhere anywhere further anytime quick or any speed, and it just became a stalemate that the views weren't going up. It was the same sort of likes that people the same sort of people were liking certain posts, and it just wasn't going anywhere. And I think when you're doing it on your own, it can be one of those daunting things that there's no one there to motivate you.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because it's just like, as a content creator, it's like some days you just do lose motivation. And I did read like a quote, and it was like, it stated like, surround yourself with people who will try and get the best out of you and motivate you. And I am actually quite thankful, because I do have like one or two friends who are constantly messaging me like, when you're gonna upload, you need to be consistent if you want to do like something. And it's like sometimes, friends that will give you that good constructive criticism to push you further. And I think it's good to surround yourself with people who will actually do that. And yeah, and sometimes it does actually help.
Yeah, definitely. And with like your channel, it's like, you do blogs and stuff and vlogs. Is that with us, like we stream now like 3 days a week. So um for us, because the Star Wars community, there's a lot that's already happened, and if you're not a fan of it, it takes you ages to understand like the whole concept and how big it is. But there's still more coming to our type of universe, essentially. But with like yours, there's only like, if you vlogged every day, it just becomes boring, I think, because
Yeah.
there's only so much you can vlog, and there's only so much you can do. Even for us, there's only so much you can do without it becoming boring. So like doing it like twice a week, or maybe, sorry, forget that, like once every 2 weeks or once a month, kind of then brings a little bit of variance, as I said earlier, because each month's different. And then when you get to the summer and stuff, you go out more, you do more things, and like what there was the one video where you went abroad, wasn't it? I can't remember. Was it Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, it was your first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah. So that one flew off the charts, and given that was your first video, I think it reached almost 1.5K views. So that, like,
Yeah.
it just shows that a
Like,
vlog, I see most vloggers vlogging certain things, and most vloggers who just stay quite remote and stay quite close to what they think's the comfort zone. But you weren't quite, for your first video, you kind of set the bar quite high. Is that then it's just try and keep maintaining that bar and keep setting it higher and higher.
yes. And when you was talking about those vlogs and how it becomes repetitive, I did actually see that with my channel. Um, because you know how the Christmas season people do, vlogmas and stuff. So I thought, okay, well, obviously I need content, I need watch hours to get closer to monetization. So I did start doing like a vlogmas, but I did have that feeling like, oh, it's just gonna become repetitive, and I don't want people to, get bored of my channel. And I did start to see like a decrease in views when I was posting the Vlogmas videos. Although I was doing like different things, like in the first one I went to mini golf and went out with my friends. The second one we tried like taste testing Japanese candy, and then obviously the last one was a Christmas Day vlog. Even though they were vlogs and it just seemed repetitive, and I did start to notice like where my most views come from depending on what video. So like with my challenges, I'll have a lot of views on some of them, but the ones where I actually am outside doing like, vlogging, like where I went to Uganda and I did a vlog, and obviously with the Germany vlog, they're the ones that gained the most attention. So it's just about finding out what your subscribers want to watch. And I think like towards the future, I think I am going to try and sort of base my channel off of like vlogs and traveling, because that's what gets the most attention, and obviously then I'll be able to benefit from that. So it's
Yeah,
just about,
like
finding
you just
what
said it
people
then,
want.
like with the like what your subscribers want. And it comes to my point earlier that, for example, if you've got like 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, is that how many of those people actually watch the content and actually interested in that content? Like people may have like liked or followed, because of the promotions and stuff, and they've just like as they were just flicking through their phone or whatever. But it comes to the point where you just said that, like, what do the subscribers want, and what do the people want who are viewing it? And then it comes to the thing that if you start to see what comes the best out what the subscribers like, and then it kind of takes away the variance, because without the variance, if you don't try anything new, then you probably won't get another sort of more another aspect of another community. So for example, if you were vlogging, for example, plants, for example, and you had 1,000 followers, and for example 600 of them were actually interested in your content, and 600 of them actually love flowers, and that was it. It kind of then just basing, like for us, we're only basing a certain type of community, whilst for you, because vlogging is so broad, it is more of the case of you can take it like, as you said, different countries, you can take it different places, and you've as you have done, is you've done it like to like seasons of the year, so like Christmas and things like that. So I think with yours, it's like so open. It's more of like a trial and error until like you find the right consistency and trend. With the consistency within the trend, it becomes more of a guessing game. Like for us, we won't post anything else except that for Star Wars, because that is our streamlined channel.
Yeah.
And that's literally it's like, for us, we put all our eggs in one basket. Whilst for you could put them in different ones, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So looking back on to like your Instagram page and your Twitch streaming and obviously your channel, what are the main things that you actually found challenging?
So if you look back at on the Instagram page, if you look back about December 2019. December 2019 was purely the videos that we were posting were they had audio in, which was better. They got better. The quality slightly improved, but there was nothing to show that it was like that it belonged to us, and we didn't have any sense of like belonging or representation. So what we managed to do then is we managed to take it up another further step. And if you look about April 2020, is that we managed to start adding in our videos. They managed to get to 720p minimum, and they started to also have representation of a way to promote our channel. So like in the videos, we had that Xbox name tag over it, and that was in the corner, so people could resemble that it was us. And that's how we started to kick on. And I think that was a big turning point where we could start to realize that the video that we are posting, unless it's represented, it doesn't mean anything. It just feels empty. And we had to feel like that. We had to show that this is our page, and we had to show some sort of resemblance to people to know that this is us. And then you kick on even further. We started getting into about June 2020, about 7-8 months ago. We started getting into we started getting a bit better in our editing, so we started getting into overlay editing in terms of our videos. The consistency went up in terms of the quality of the video, remained at 720p. I think there are a few out there now that are at 1080, but I think there's a base minimum just to make sure, like, most technology can cope with it. We still submit a 720 as a base minimum. And now that we've achieved it, we know how to do it, and that will remain as a consistency for us. Besides that, we've then started to manage our own trending videos, so like our own promotional videos and how we've managed to edit them. And now, obviously, we're doing podcasts, so it's taken a massive uprise. And as I said earlier, I looked on the insights, this was a couple of hours ago, so it's probably not accurate now, but like we managed to get like, we're up to 12,000% in terms of interactions. So at the moment, we're doing well. It's just now we want to kick on and from this.
Yeah, so it's just all about analyzing what you're doing well at the moment, but how you could do much more, much better. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I think, as you said earlier, is when you read the numbers, for example, to start getting paid out of streaming and vlogging and things like that, you think, oh, it's gonna be easy, but it really, really isn't.
it takes a lot of
Like
time, love.
I've just
Yeah,
I've just checked now when this is as we're speaking, our first ever video on Instagram, which was the 25th of July 2019, had 48 views. 48 views, and we've got 98 followers. So that's essentially half of our follower count. But
yeah,
at the start, we didn't have 48 followers on the first day. So
yeah,
obviously, people see these at different times. So that's another thing as well. People might not see your video till a day later. So then that's when you got to start to account for when's the best time to actually post certain things to gain the best publicity. I think
yeah,
as well. Um, so having a consistent time makes that easier, and especially if you go live, I think that's the main thing, is trying to find a time zone, a certain time within a time zone that caters for most people.
yeah,
When you just do a video and it's pre-recorded and people can watch it back later because it's not live, I think it doesn't really matter. I think as long as people could go back within a day, I think that's fine. Otherwise they don't want to search very far and things like that. It's just gotta people you just gotta we just gotta make our posts
yeah,
stand out from the rest. And like it is, as I said earlier, it's hard to do that because there's only so much you can go on, and sometimes it just feels like everybody's saying the same thing, and it just becomes like a chess match.
yeah, yeah. No, I see what you mean. And with like making things stand out, I think that's the main thing. What actually makes my channel stand out is my thumbnails. And
Yep.
it did take me, wow, it took me so long to actually understand how to use these different apps, and because I make them on phone. So I did start off my YouTube on phone, which was one of the main challenge I did have to go through, was understanding how to even edit. And I did, looking back on my Germany, my very first video, obviously it was my first video, so I would make some mistakes, but with the audio and stuff, and the quality was just so bad. And it was because I was on phone, and obviously it can only go up to a certain frame rate.
Yeah.
So that was like definitely a main challenge what I took on, was with phone. But talking back onto the thumbnails, I didn't know how to create. I made a playlist actually before I started YouTube, with like things I need to learn, and editing on phone was the main one, and creating thumbnails. And I started looking at, have you seen there's like these YouTubers, they have like the thumbnails where it's like, I think it's called clickbait,
Yeah.
and it's trying to create clickbait thumbnails that will grab people's attention, for
Yeah.
people who are just browsing through my channel. So it's just trying to understand and learn how to do things like that. So yeah,
Yeah. And that kind of goes to the point where, as I said earlier, you might have like a subscriber count and only a certain amount of those will actually are interested in your content, and some people have just followed because they followed. It's then to try and open up the other side of the gate where the other people are, and they may not have an interest what you're posting, but as soon as you do something which they think, hold up a second, I like the name of this, I like the sight of it, is that they're gonna go to it. And I
yeah,
think when you do that, and then it opens up, and I think that then that's when you start to realize that there's another spectrum of people where they can they can see this, but because of for example, if you're doing a certain amount of thumbnails and it isn't promoting that side of the gate, is that they're never going to come in because it's words that they won't, maybe they don't influence with themselves with, or they're not interested in, but maybe
yeah.
certain words change people's mindset and realize this is a video I'm going to watch that seems worthwhile, and they start to watch it.
One thing I did learn whilst making these videos is, at the start of my videos, you pick up on the the bigger YouTubers, they have little previews at the start of their videos. So for instance, if it was a prank, they put like a little preview at the start of the video to grab the watcher's attention.
Yeah.
And I started picking up on that. And when I started uploading like my challenges and my pranks, that's what I started to put into my video. And my very first prank I did, that I got jumped, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I'm sure I didn't put a preview on that video. No, actually, yeah, I did. Sorry. So I put a preview on the video, and it was at the part where the prank like took off, and from that instantly, I knew it would grab people's attention, and straight away, when the video aired, it started doing well, and then it did end up again, well, right now it's on 866 views. So I think it's about learning like the different techniques and picking up on the techniques that the big YouTubers use, and then just putting into your own sort of work.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to aim at earlier when I said about the waterfall. Like you got the big people, the big streamers and everything at the top of the waterfall, and they're rightfully up there. But like when you're new to this, is that you're at the bottom and you gotta try and decipher how you're gonna get to the top.
Yeah.
Like what's the top doing, but also what's the bottom doing, and you got to realize, well, if the bottom's all doing this, do I copy or do I go slightly different? Maybe sometimes going different makes you go up because then it's different to what other people are doing, or you can remain a consistency as a base level to kick on from that. And I think that's what we did initially, is that we started as a base level so we could kick on rather than just take a different complete route.
Yeah.
So like with like the preview clip at the start, is if the people at the top are doing it, is that then if you bring that down to the bottom, the people at the bottom of the waterfall will start to realize, this is big, this is trending, this is how we can kickstart a little bit to go a bit higher up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Since you've been doing all of this, I was gonna ask actually, what are the 3 things like you'd wish you knew before even starting? Well, getting to where you are now. What are the 3 things that you wish you knew before?
Okay, 3 things that I wish I knew before. I'm gonna say this more of on an independent basis like myself, because obviously I work as a team. Is that the 3 things that I would have liked to know before I got in is, well, this is a tough one, you put me right on the spot. Is the time. That's one of the first things. As in, when I say time, I mean is how much time you got to put in to get back out of it.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'd go with community. I think community is another big one. When I say community, I mean things like, for example, when we discussed that, we wanted to open a channel, is that we knew our sort of community, and we kind of knew our tree, our branch stone, which type of area of people we were trying to attend to.
Like the gaming community.
Yeah, the gaming community, Star Wars community, that type of thing. So we kind of knew the people who were trying to influence. It's a big community. People, for example, when you put the hashtag gaming or Twitch, is that it's so open. People on Twitch stream so many different things, which is a good thing, because then, if for example you're a Call of Duty player and then you're on the Twitch hashtag, is that you see our post then come up, and then it'll either interest you or it won't. So that's the second thing. So I've done time, community, and the third thing I'd go for. What would I go for the third one? Resources. I think resources is another one, another one. When you see, as you said earlier, you see the big streamers, doing certain things in their videos and how they get certain things to come up at certain times, like on their screen and everything, and you think, well, that can't be easy. It's just IT, It seems quite that there's probably a button to toggle those. It isn't. You've got to download different files. You've got different software. You've got to have
Yeah,
certain computering systems. You've got to have certain RAM certain things on your computer, certain programs, things like that. Just as a base, and then you got to understand how to work the software and things like that. So it does take a little bit of time, but when you become such a good streamer, like the people at the top, is that the consistency of where the videos are at. It's just they use the same thing then over and over, so it just becomes easy. So they just use the same thing, but it's
yeah,
trying to get of like the intros and outros belong to your type of to you and to what your channel is. Like with the fonts and everything. It's just all the smaller details. So the resources is something big. Resources doing it individually would be massive. The
hmm
amount of time and the resources you need. If I mean, as I said, you need certain, for example, processing systems, certain computers, for example, certain things. If you're like a PC gamer, is that if you're doing this as, for example, as a hobby, is it worth that investment?
yeah,
And
I,
that's another thing as well, where you could say money, but I think some people are just happy where they just, for example, they stream just for one or two people, it's just as a small community where they don't really care about getting paid for it because it's just something they enjoy. So I think
yeah.
resources is another big one. I'd say resources.
I I'd have a few as well. Um, I'd say patience is a key for starting YouTube, and it's just about like I didn't know. It's about like what monetization. You need to be so patient for that because it's not going to happen overnight. Really, you're not going to get monetized overnight. Things take time, and you like obviously have to understand. Not everybody will want to watch your videos,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
about yeah. So it's about understanding that you have to be patient with YouTube, and it's like um when I first was uploading my videos, I didn't know what like have you seen like the copyright claims that you get and you get the tags in your description?
yeah,
I didn't know all about that. So really, it's just about having patience and doing research and making sure you have a clear understanding and making sure that you want to do what you want to do. Another one I would say is consistency. That is a major one. I don't think I'm as consistent as I could have been. I think I wish I knew that you have to be consistent for your videos to get out there. And at one point, I did feel like, oh, my videos are not doing as well as they could be. And I had to, evaluate myself and where am I doing wrong? That's not um, helping my channel, get out there. And then it's just realizing, okay, well, I need to be consistent for people to, for YouTube to push my videos out there. And so I started looking at like different techniques and watching videos on how to get your videos out there and how to gain your subscribers and they was all about basically talking about how to just get your videos out there really and just yeah so the main ones I'd say is patience, consistency, and yeah, dedication is the main one. I think I've said this in my video as well,
yeah.
like
So
you should
we've talked about consistency a lot in this podcast so far. So like
yeah
um to build upon consistency there. Consistency is so big where there's so many things with consistency that it needs to be consistent within consistency. So you think about the type of videos when you're posting things like that, but the consistency also comes where if this isn't like your main thing, like some YouTubers and streamers do this for a living, is that they spend probably a good 80% of their day putting their soul into it. Where,
yeah
for example, for me, is obviously why I know I do this as a team. But for me, like through the day and stuff, I have so many other things because this isn't the priority. The other priorities ahead of this is that out of the 24-hour clock, you got to find the time to
yeah
be consistent through the week, or like you could do this daily or through the week, where you could say maybe I'm gonna have 2 days off and I'm gonna work five and put my time 5 days into the channel and things. Is you got to find a time and stuff to balance so much other things is where that consistency comes from. Like, do you work for 2 hours, for example, for 5 days, or do you work one day and work, for example, you do 10 hours it and you just contribute one day? So there's so many other factors which, when
Yeah.
you don't do this as your main priority, that other priorities take place, and sometimes that they take so much priority, they take longer than you expect and you plan. And
Yeah.
then this, because like for me, this is not at the bottom of the list, but it is towards the bottom where this is the main priority. It kind of then gets cast aside.
Yeah. And for me as well, with consistency, I did realize that YouTube was so time consuming. Like you have to, you know, go out and create the video, depending on what video you're doing. Like say for instance, I did do a few challenges, so I had to go out and gather things for the challenge. So it was about getting the stuff, shooting the video, editing and like creating the thumbnail and making sure like my video don't like go against like copyright claims and stuff. And that would relate to as well with patience as well, because so many times I just lost patience. I when at one point I created, well I well about 2 or 3 videos I've made and I've just deleted because I just didn't have the patience to sit there and edit it, because it wasn't up to, like the standard I wanted it. And
Yeah,
and sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm finding it hard to be consistent if I keep deleting videos. But that is one thing I did find challenging. And as I started off on the phone, editing was like so easy because it was there on my phone, and I was making videos on my phone. But then
yeah,
when I then got a camera, I didn't know how to like get the videos because I didn't have a laptop. I didn't know how to get the videos onto my phone until I did my research and then found out like how to do it. It took even longer because I had to transfer those videos to my phone. And again, that was so time consuming because in the end, I was just like, oh, I'm not going to upload until I have a laptop. And then I took another curve whilst I had a laptop because the software I was editing on was just completely laggy. So I lost not confidence, sorry. I lost motivation and I just thought, do you know what, I'm just gonna wait and like stop doing YouTube videos until I'm ready and I still have everything like the laptop, the camera. So it's just making sure you have all the resources and stuff
yeah.
before you go
And
ahead and do
that's what I
it.
was saying earlier. Like, if you're doing this
Yeah,
as is it like a hobby and as an enjoyment thing, is how much resources and how much financial backing into the resources you need is how much you're going to put in. You see
yeah,
like all these streamers with like, the good microphones, good computers, good laptops, etc. Is that if you're starting off the bottom, is that you may not have a budget where you can go and invest to go straight to the high quality videos. And sometimes it is literally just, as you said, starting with your phone and building it out that way until you start to realize that, for example, a microphone, if you want a good microphone, it might cost you, a high proportion, and you may think, well, I don't have that sort of resources. But there's a slightly lower one on the market, and I think, oh, I'll go for that one, and I can get used to the sort of technology, and that promote yourself that way and get used to the technology and building up. And it also, as I said earlier, it comes to the resources, how much money, if you do this as as a hobby, you don't want to be spending, high amounts of money just just to make good quality videos at the start, because sometimes the ends don't justify the means. And when you
yeah,
talked about earlier about the standards and everything, that you deleted 2 videos because you weren't happy with the standard, I think with in terms of standards, I think there comes a standard from yourself and what you expect the
yeah,
video should look like, and then there's a standard from the viewers. Viewers they like a certain standard, and at the moment, standards across most streamers and everything are, outro, intro, you know
yeah,
links in the videos, to go onto this channel or to go to this video without going back and researching and trying to go through everything. And if you are new to this, and this becomes the problem, is that you may not know how to do that, and then it's just about trying to find the time and the confidence and the effort to go and put everything that they do into your own practice.
Yeah, and I've noticed as well when you're saying about the resources and stuff, and people do, when they do start like YouTube, they do start off with a phone. Most people more than likely, and I did start receiving like a few messages of people who were wanting to start a YouTube channel, asking me for advice and like how I started off on my phone and stuff. So I'd like give them all the resources that I used, the apps and stuff, and it's just about, yeah, really just finding the right resources. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember because even I started out on my phone, to like record. The first way I did it was like I screen recorded from the Xbox, like a video, and then saved it to like the cloud drive, and then screen recorded off my phone so I could post it that way. So that's how like I first started and stuff. But now like I know there's other ways and stuff. Like you could download certain formats, and it will keep that format in a certain level of ratio consistency, so like the video doesn't change very much, and it keeps all the pixels and everything orientated, and just keeps everything a bit more higher quality, rather than trying to
Yeah,
record off a recording. And sometimes it is trying to do it the better way. It is a bit more time consuming, that it takes longer, but it's that consistency. When you've done it once, you need to be like, well, this is the level I'm at now, I need to keep doing that. And
yeah,
sometimes, if you are doing that, it is very time consuming, because you could be doing other things and stuff, and it's just so, when you've set a bar, you need to keep that bar, and you
yeah.
can't go below that par level.
I completely agree. Completely agree with that.
So when you've been looking through Instagram this week, because you're huge on TikTok, and I will never probably be or the channel, because we never do TikTok, and I don't think we ever will. Did you see the challenge that I had to do? That the rest of the team didn't have to do. It was just solely on me, and I had to do a challenge this week.
Um, no, I don't think I'm aware of that.
Right. So I'll give you the backstory. So we were streaming the other day. I can't remember what day it was. I think it was Monday or Wednesday, one of those days. We were streaming, and one of the viewers put in the comments the phrase "This is clapped,"
Wow.
and he wasn't mocking our stream. He was mocking something that happened in the stream.
Oh.
And I was co-hosting, so I was reading the comments as they were coming through and everything. And I thought to myself, well, I was like, oh, I haven't heard this saying in a very long time,
Yeah, since high
since years
school.
ago. Yeah, since high school. Yeah, so that was like, oh, Jesus Christ, where did that come from? And I said to the viewer, I said, because I've never heard it in such a long time, is that now that's going to be stuck in my mind. And what I decided to do was I had to comment the phrase "that's clapped" on any sort of post, like Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or anything like that, and had to do it by this Sunday, which as we're recording is tomorrow, in Britain. So the rules I had to abide by is it had to be done by Sunday, tomorrow, and I had to confirm that I actually did comment on this post. So the only way that the one way I thought I could confirm that I'd done this post was to tag him in it. So essentially, what I had to do was I had to put the phrase on "This is clapped" and tag the viewer in there. I can
Okay.
officially say I have done the challenge. I will send you the video later of the
Yeah.
challenge, but it was just brilliant to see that a viewer viewing the channel on the stream, who I don't really know and I never knew of, just said something and just kind of made you think, that kind of just resembled certain things that happened in the past, and it just then brings conversation into the stream, and you
Yeah.
engage with the viewers. And I felt like I felt quite, I wouldn't say maybe privileged is the right or wrong word depending on how you look at it, but I felt quite um I think privileged is the wrong word. I felt quite like connected to the viewer. Like, you
Yeah.
know, there was conversation there, and you know, we started talking about, like, you know, other things, and it just felt like it just wasn't all about Star Wars. It just seemed like we were a community, somehow conversational, a bit like a podcast like this. And
Yeah.
it's just that when I think when you get to a certain amount of viewers, is that it becomes easier, because when you are streaming and there is no viewers, is it can be a little bit boring.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is when it's just you, you're just talking to yourself.
Yeah.
and
That is
it,
the problem sometimes for me as well.
and it's just like, you know, what am I might just be sitting at home, sitting in the room, just talking to myself, because there's nothing else better to do, and it just gets a bit like that.
Yeah.
and
No, I can
and I
completely
think
understand
as
that.
soon as you get like consistent views and everything, like for us on our streams, it just becomes easier, because they engage, you engage with them, and it just seems to be like there seems to be conversations and stuff.
Yeah. I like I was saying earlier, engaging with the people who watch my things, and about that girl who did comment on my video, and she said she came from my TikTok, and like I helped her in some way, and I was just like, wow, like I didn't know that. Now, um, I do sometimes have regular chats with this girl, and it's just crazy to think like people you don't know, and over like the internet, and you're making friends with
Yeah,
them.
I think sometimes it is a little bit easier, because is if, for example, if you don't show on the internet who you are and you just do your voice,
Yeah,
sometimes it's a little bit easier to like talk to people, because they don't judge you for what you look like and
yeah,
your appearance. And sometimes it can be like, if you're new to streaming and things like this, is that if you set out that, you know, I want to put my face in, I want to be like, and I want to represent myself as who I am, and be quite open, it can be it can either work, or it doesn't work. And if it
yeah,
doesn't work, it's going to make you feel 10 times as worse. And then you're going to get bad comments, bad reviews, and then it's just gonna tumble very, very quickly. So I think sometimes trying to find the balance where you do videos where it's just audio, and when you do videos and you're doing audio, and people can see who you are, is that you got to find that balance, because, you know, as I said, you know, I don't want to class it bullying, but essentially that's almost pretty much what it is that if you if you go thinking, right, I'm gonna start to do this, do that, and I'm new to it, is that
yeah,
people might just mock you. People might not think, oh, he doesn't look confident, you know, that type of thing, or
yeah,
she doesn't look happy, you know. And then it starts to play in your mind a little bit, and it makes you think that I'm just new to this, and if this is all I'm gonna get, there's no point doing it.
yeah. And like at the moment, with my YouTube, um, I haven't actually received any, which I'm glad of, any like hate comments or anything like that. But you do notice, like a few times I've uploaded, and it's I think it's somebody who has like their notifications on, and it's like I'm telling you, almost every upload I upload, this person has the notifications on, and instantly they dislike my video, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
sometimes, and sorry, go on.
It's when that happens, it just makes you think that people are out there to set people are out there to get out for you, and it's just
Yeah,
like people actually have the time to put post notifications on. And for me, if you're going to put post notifications on, that's usually because you want to engage in the content.
yeah,
But there are people, as you said, people that are out there who put post notifications on just to,
just to
just
dislike it.
just to
Yeah,
dislike it, and it just feels like sometimes that you've done that, you know, for a reason. Okay, fair enough. You know, not everyone's going to like what I post, but
exactly. Yeah,
you may as well just be like every time I wake up, just being next to me outside, as I wake up, saying, yeah, you're not the best person in life. And I think sometimes when people are persistent to get out, I can't even speak. Well, but when people are there to go for you on a consistent basis, it just makes you think that, and it's the same sort of people, and you're like, well, is
What
it
is the
any worth it?
purpose?
And if you are new and you haven't got like a bigger network, for example, if you have 1 million followers and there's only like 10 people doing it, you're probably not going to care very much,
Yeah,
because there's still like almost, well, there's over 900,000 people who are going to be like, well, we like you anyway, so forget about the other 10 people.
yeah, exactly.
So like the proportions are higher, but it's still the principle that people are out there. But I suppose when you get higher and higher and higher, and you have more people and you have a bigger engagement, that it won't give you a massive knockback. But if you
Yes.
have a smaller community, is that when those people, dislike things, it does play in your mind a little bit.
Yeah. And after I realized it was like, just a constant like cycle this person was doing, just disliking it. To be fair, I wasn't at the start. I wasn't phased, but in the back of your mind, you're like, who is this? Like you just have that wonder. But after a while, you're just like, oh, it doesn't phase me. To be fair, people are, entitled to their own opinion. If they don't like my videos, then like that's down to them. That's their decision, which I'm completely fine with. And but yeah, sometimes you're just like, oh, okay, what is the purpose of this? Like, if you do like my videos, like feel free to, maybe find a different video of mine that you might like, or if not, then not even watch my channel. But then you do realize like there are some celebrities out there as well who, could be doing like good for the world, like doing the best they can, never engaging in like negativity, like or arguments online, and they'll still get hate for things they're doing. So sometimes I just look at it as that, like there are good people out there and they do get hate for doing good. So I think it's just about not letting that alter like the energy you're giving out to other people. So yeah.
Yeah, like I suppose when you think about, our own independent channels, our respective channels, and you think the content that we post, and the content that maybe you'd like to post, and that's the significant bit here, that the like content you'd like to post but don't, because it's a fear factor, because you don't want to you don't want to take that step, and if it is the step you do make and it goes wrong, it makes you think that, well, I've now just put myself, I've given people now going to give me a bad name, and this is going to
Yeah.
influence all the things I've done before.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes, trying to take that step into a bigger step
Hmm.
can make it feel like sometimes smaller than it is.
Yeah, I completely
Because
agree with that.
you want to go, for example, 2 steps forward, but you go 2 steps forward by posting something which you think is going to take you there, and then people are against it, people don't like it, etc. And then you've
Yeah.
actually then taken 3 steps back, and then you've actually not gone anywhere.
Yeah, I completely see what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's just, I think it's all about maybe just like controlling how you feel about things and understanding that there are certain things you can't control. And I think it's just about really taking it on the chin and just constantly striving to get the best out of yourself, really.
Yeah, and I suppose, you mentioned this earlier, it comes down again down to confidence, where it is about that belief about, to take that extra post where you go, and if the worst case scenario is you go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, is to have that confidence to do it. Because for some people that confidence might come over a year, or some people might just be more naturally confident and they just do it anyway, and they won't
Yeah.
really care what happens as a result. But for some people who are, less confident, and their confidence is built on other people's confidence, is that they post that, and then obviously it doesn't go well for them, is that then they go back into their shell, and then they
Yeah.
remain as what they are, as what, when I say what they are, is to their level what they're posting, or it drops off. And you can,
Yeah.
and you can, if they're doing audio and things like that, and they're putting themselves in a video, is you can maybe see that the confidence level is dropped.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes does come with confidence, because if you're scared about posting it, and you think, and you're overthinking that this is going to go well, or it might go well, but I think more people it's not going to go well, and then it ends up actually being the fact that it doesn't go well. It kind of puts you in a thing. Well, I was right all along. I should have never posted it. I'm not going to bother anymore, and then it puts you even further back.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that as well. Again, like it's just about, feeling like when you feel like you've taken 2 steps forward and then things not going the way you expected and then you're getting pushed back.
Yeah, like for
It
me,
does have an effect.
like I post I promote the page, and I promote the channel, and promote everything that Star Galaxy Wars is what we're called
Yeah.
on our pages and everything. But then I also independently promote my own page, and that's where I feel less confident when I post it as individual,
Mhm.
because the greater background with all my friends and everything is, if they see that and they see, oh, this guy likes this guy likes that, they're gonna think, oh, yeah, no, and I think I'm not, as an independent person, I'm not the most confident, because this, Star Galaxy Wars is based on a few people, is that the confidence of Star Galaxy Wars comes as a unit. It's
Yeah.
not just one person's
One
confidence.
person.
It builds upon each other. And
Yeah.
when I go as my independent, self on social media, is that, and I try to promote it, it doesn't feel the same, because I've got that fear factor that someone's gonna mock it, essentially.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like, and sometimes I don't feel like, when you see, for example, 80 people on your independent social medias, and you see 80 people have viewed it, and you think no one's actually followed it, no one's actually followed any of the pages from this, and it makes you think that clearly, those people on your social media don't see you the same person, or maybe never will.
Yeah. And that's one of the caves as well that I have when, you're promoting your things and you see so many people who have viewed it, but they don't take, sometimes they don't take the time. Or maybe it just doesn't interest those people, but it's just like sometimes it does make you feel like, oh, right. It does put a sort of downer on you sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And I think sometimes, people say, oh, you got to pick yourself up. But, if you're doing it as an independent, and you're not doing it as a full-time thing, is that it does become then, and you are doing it as a hobby, it becomes more problematic for you, because you're doing this thing as a hobby, and, it's to try and put your smile on it's trying to help promote your mental health and things like that. Is that then when people then are, you know, putting bad reviews and everything, it makes you just think, well, I was doing this as a hobby. There's no point even trying anymore. And
Yeah.
it's not even a hobby now anymore. It's just going to be like, well, I might as well just give up on it. And people say then you got to pick yourself up and keep going, but it may be the fact where you might have the mentality, well, if I keep going, it's just going to be the same stuff all the time, and there's no point doing it.
Yeah. And I think once you feel like it's that cycle repeating, you do lose motivation to even continue doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And when you lose that motivation, it now then becomes an issue of people, for example, if they're your close friends, and or for example, you might be in school, and you know you might be in like, not like in like a lower year, for example, like year 8 or whatever, and then the people upper in the school, like the 11s or whatever, they hear about it, and then it's that factor of then a greater audience knows, and then
Yeah.
that then it hasn't gone well, and you just then gotta just you gotta face everyone every day, and it's just like, it was a hobby, and then like, it's, you know if it is a hobby, like, like it is for me, and everyone else who works at Star Galaxy Wars, is that when you've lost so much motivation out of a hobby,
Yeah.
you just seem to lose so much disinterest from everything else. Like if I was, if I say I, if we were to lose so much motivation from this, I don't think I'd engage in what, Star Wars and things like that the same way.
Yeah.
You lose so much motivation from the thing you love and the thing you're passionate about. It just doesn't become the same, and then it's hard then to go find a new hobby.
Yeah, and I when I do sometimes feel like that with YouTube, sometimes I do look at it as a different way, and like to try and motivate myself. Do you know the YouTuber Mr. Beast?
I do not.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Um, well, I think he was creating videos for 5 years on YouTube before he actually went viral. So sometimes I just look at it as, wow, like he was creating videos for such a long time and he didn't like obviously constantly kept making them, didn't like stop until, well, he's still making them now, but if you just look at it as, wow, like look at him, he's on 51 million subscribers when 5 years ago he wasn't even blowing.
Yeah, and it
So
comes back
sometimes
to
I
the
do use
point
that as
where,
motivation and think,
some people when they post it, it's a confidence thing. Some people, it might not even be a video of themselves or whatever. It might just be just a standard post on Facebook or whatever of
yeah,
what they think. And it might be about a football game or whatever, but they're so scared to post it because they know so many people will attack them and everything, is that
mm-hmm,
they don't post it. And if you say about that YouTuber, it took him 5 years, is that's a confidence. Clearly, it's clear that he's taken his time for his
mm-hmm,
confidence to get there, because he could have done that video 5 years later first, and it could have either gone really well or really bad for him. But he started as a base level, and he's improved, and he's worked upon certain things. And I think sometimes when people say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to become a YouTuber, I think they need to realize that there's a bigger picture.
yeah,
I don't
completely.
like it's really hard now to become like an instant hit.
Yeah, completely. I agree with that as well. And I did see a post actually. Even though like it does take a lot now to even go like viral on YouTube, I did see a post and it was like, if you ever lose motivation, just remember like your one video, you could be one video away from like blowing up. So sometimes when I do feel like, oh, I don't want to upload, I'm just like, this could be like the next big thing. So I might as well upload and just take that chance. Not saying that it could happen, it would happen, but you never know, it could.
Yeah, and it
So
could. And I
yeah,
think sometimes I think when you say that quote, I think sometimes people read that and people take that the wrong way as well, because
uh-huh, yeah.
they when people say, you're one thing away, is that I see so many people who become massive hits, not instant hits, but they've got maybe a couple of thousand, a couple of hundred subscribers or whatever, but then all of a sudden they go up to like hundreds of thousands or even millions
Yeah,
because of another YouTuber essentially mocking them. And I sometimes see that because then people follow that other person to see if they build out a reaction from it,
yeah,
and then that's why they get a hit, because someone else so huge is found
mention them
found a
and
video of someone so small that they belittle them, for example. Is that small, everybody goes to that person and thinking, right, are you going to do anything about this? And usually it's the same people that who followed the bigger YouTuber, and they jump on the bandwagon.
yeah, yeah,
So I
no,
think
yeah,
sometimes when people say, you're one video away, it doesn't necessarily mean one video that you're going to post. It could be someone else who posts about you and in the wrong
yeah,
context. So
yeah.
I think sometimes when
People,
that does happen, is that you could have, for example, you could have 581 subscribers. You could have, for example, 400 videos, and all of a sudden, you wake up the next morning, and we do say it doesn't happen overnight, but you could be in a different part of the world, and all of a sudden, you're up to like 10,000 followers, and you think, well, how's this happened? And
yeah,
then you got to find out why, and then all of a sudden, you realize that someone's put you in a video of theirs and essentially mocked you, and then people have followed you to see if you're going to build a reaction out of it.
Yeah,
And then that goes against, and then when you do that reaction, people, when they're going to keep refollowing you, people are going to like it. Is that obviously that looks well because you've got more views and follows, but it goes against then what your channel's about.
exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, I see what you mean. Completely.
Um, with that, do you think there's any more discussion to talk about? Um,
Um,
we've done
we have covered quite a lot as well. We've covered about
we've done the
things,
reviews. We've done
reviews.
we've done the chat discussion.
We've talked
Oh,
about
I know something that we haven't completely haven't mentioned is your massive achievement on your YouTube this week.
oh, wow. I actually found out today. So I went on to I have this YouTube tracker that helps you like track your views. And it gives you like advice on what you can add to your videos to make it like
Yeah,
better. So
and,
like
and do you know what,
adding
right? And do you know what, right? As we're talking about, people trying to get you who are new into this, who might watch this podcast, and if they watch all of it, is what we'll do is we'll make sure when this gets uploaded to our respective YouTubes and all that social media account stuff, is that we'll put the description to this in the link because this has helped Tamika so much. It hasn't helped necessarily us at Star Galaxy Wars, but it's helped Tamika so much get forward in terms of followers and stuff. And the achievement that she's going to tell you next is absolutely massive. So make sure you're listening,
is
and we'll
massive.
post it in.
Yeah. So I have this app and it tells me gives me advice on what I could add, like hashtags to my videos, tags. So I went on there today to see how my YouTube was doing because I haven't uploaded, and it told me that my channel has a total of 10,000 views since I made and started creating these videos. So this is a massive, massive, massive achievement for me because I didn't think like wow, I don't know that many people, but like a lot of people have been watching my videos, and it's just crazy to think of it. Like I have no words. I'm speechless. I'm really speechless.
Yeah, so 10,000 followers. Tamika's YouTube account has reached. Um, she got that notification a couple of hours ago, so it's probably gone up or it's probably remained the same. But as of today, she now has reached 10,000 not 10,000 followers. That is correct.
10,000 views.
10,000 views. Right, we've got to make sure we say this right. 10,000 views. That's just on her YouTube channel. She's also got, as she said earlier, she's got 33,000 followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them, on TikTok.
Yeah.
33,000, which is massive by a long shot. She's got 399 subscribers as we're recording this, subscribers on her YouTube. So she's almost at 500. Let's make sure we can hopefully the fan base from Star Galaxy Wars can help you push up to 500 as you get closer. But
Yes,
10,000 views on a YouTube channel is absolutely massive.
it's massive.
I I should know, but I don't know our views for Star Galaxy Wars. I'll have to check that. But
On
as I said,
YouTube,
yeah, on YouTube,
I'll check that for you right now.
I don't know how to do it. So Tamika will check that for me. But as she's checking that for me, as I said, the website, the app, or whatever she was using for the to see how many views she stuff and got is we'll put that in the description below. So if there is anybody who is interested and thinks, well, this might be a great tool to track their progress within YouTube, is you can download it or view it on the internet or wherever. I don't know too much about it, so we'll put the link in the description rather below. Besides
I,
that, waiting for Tamika
I,
to give me the
I
number.
I can't find the number, but I will give you an app, and that will tell you and help you keep track of the number of views that your channel reaches. And they'll send you like a picture with like a medal each time you hit each milestone.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, again, so I think that's the app I was just talking about. So we'll make sure that's in the description. Um, Asides that, I think that's the podcast done.
yeah, we've
I
covered a
don't
lot.
think don't think there's anything else. Um, So this was our first podcast for Star Galaxy Wars. Um, we have plans. We did plan this one with Tamika, and we planned another one which is all about Star Wars content. Obviously Tamika doesn't know anything about Star Wars, and that's not to mock her, but I didn't feel it was appropriate to have a Star Wars conversation with someone who didn't know anything about it. So we did plan this one. We did plan another one. I think this one's going to be uploaded first, and then the other one's going to be uploaded after a few days later, because at the moment we're recording this podcast, I still need to record the other podcast. But for us, at Star Galaxy Wars, this is obviously our first podcast. I think it was a great conversation with Tamika.
Yeah.
Great to get some insights on a different aspect of vlogging, streaming, and everything. And someone obviously who isn't competing in the same community as us. So I would say is to make sure you're checking out all our social media platforms and links in the description below. Also, go check out Tamika's social media platforms as well, Instagram, YouTube, and what's the other one? TikTok, with a massive 30,000 follower count on there. Tamika, you got anything else to say before we finish?
I just want to say thank you to those people who have stayed around and listened to the end, and it does mean a lot. And if you do need advice or any help with YouTube, if you are looking to start a YouTube channel, please do message me through my Instagram. As Matthew said, it'll be in the description below, and I'll be free to answer any questions you have or any help you need.